Alright guys, I haven't really brought you any Yu-Gi-Oh content in a while, but I actually managed to figure out something that I could do to post for you guys. So I'm going to give you some card tips uh, for one of my favorite sets, as well as I'm going to go over a ruling that people don't really often understand. So first, we're going to get into the cards. So, people that play go-go-go's. I love this set. Now, there are really only a few ways you can play this deck effectively and good. And it all depends on what you're playing. So, you really absolutely need Golem, and Giant. Because when you normal summon Giant, you can bring Golem from the graveyard. Now, people often go this into Golem. Now, that's okay if you're going to use Golem as defense and use him as a blocker. I mean, use him as something to defend with. But I don't like using Ghost into Golem after... I don't like going from Giant to Ghost to Golem if I don't have anything to bring to the field after I bring out Giant. Kagito Kage. Well, I mean, if you have Giant, Kagito Kage, bring in Ghost into Golem, then you can, because then you can make 2 rank 4 exceeds. And that is what really works. But if you don't have, I mean, if your deck doesn't derive itself off of that kind of plays, and you don't have another way to bring out another monster to the field when you bring out your Giant, just go for Ghost. I mean, Golem. Don't play Ghost if you're going to build a deck that just revolves around these two. Because I've built a couple variants that have this in it. This doesn't ever get used. I mean, this never gets summoned because I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like that you need Ghost if you're just going to rely on going for one Xyz monster at a time. Play this, bring that in, make your Xyz, and you're done. I mean, if you don't have any more plans to summon more, then this is substantial. I mean, obviously, you know, the main play that I would do, you know, you go him, summon him, overlay, you know, go for King of the Feral Imps, search Master Chameleon, summon Giant. You know, and that's all understandable. But that's all and fine. But if you do have something that would allow you to, like, if you really need a Golem from your graveyard and you just want to get something done and you need a special summon Ghost, you can play Summoner Monk, Goblinbergs, 10 Goldfish. All of these will allow you to get him to the field, triggers effect, bring back him. Now, obviously, you know, that'd be a smart idea with these guys. Also, if you have Kagito Kage, because then you can just, like, normal Monk, special Kagito, ditch something, special Ghost to Golem, and then you can just make loads of XCs. But if you don't plan on doing that, and you don't have that, then these guys, just use them to bring out Golem to the grave, and get Golem out to the field, and use it as a means to get him to the grave. But that's it for that, really. I think that's all I wanted to discuss about that. But now, this ruling actually can be solved with Molten Zombie. Now, if we look at the card text, it states, when this card is special summoned from the graveyard, draw 1 card. Now, there are a lot of cards that special summon from the graveyard, but Molten Zombie can actually miss timing, because it's when this card is special summon from the graveyard, draw 1 card. Yeah, this effect has to be on its own chain when you summon it. So, like, let's say this will work with Call the Haunted, because Call the Haunted does not have any secondary effects after the summon. So Molten Zombie can be summoned, draw 1 card. Soul Charge, however, would cause Molten Zombie to miss timing, because Soul Charge, you have to pay 1,000 life points per every monster that you summon after the summon is successful. So that will cause him to miss timing. So basically, when this card is, and then whatever the condition is, whatever that condition was, if you meet that condition and there's nothing else after it, the effect will go off. But if you have another effect that happens after that condition has been reached, the effect will not go off, and you will miss timing on things like Molten Zombie. So do be aware. Now, a lot of people, I actually should address this, because this is actually a very, very serious problem. Ghost. Ghost's effect is if this card is special summoned. Now, I know a lot of you are smart enough to know what that is, what that means. But really, a lot of people fuck this up. No, because it's if this card is special summoned. Like let's say you do go for Giant, bring in Ghost. Then your opponent tries to torrential. Like your opponent torrentials, and they say, oh, you don't get your Ghost. Well, you bring Ghost to the field, and like, what are you doing? You don't get that, you miss timing. No, you don't, because Gogogo Ghost is if this card was summoned, and was special summoned. So, do keep in mind the difference between if and when effects. They can be very, very complicated, especially to newer players. But players who have been playing the game a long enough time will know the difference between if and when. If cannot miss timing and can always activate and resolve on its own chain timing, compared to when has to have a specific condition met, and that condition must be met without another effect coming after it for it to actually work. So do keep that in mind. But this is Mocking a Mech Lord, guys. I am signing out. Have a good day, and hopefully this advice had helped.